my laptop back to my room, and I'll plug it in, and it takes at least a minute, if not 2 minutes, to like connect to the network, and like I'll click on network preferences, and it'll say like there's no IP address, and then it'll self-assign an IP address, and then it'll connect, and that happens every single time. Like even if I just unplug it for a minute and plug it back in, it takes another minute. And my roommate like has the same issue, and he said when he lived in Grafton last year, that didn't happen. Like as soon as he plugged it in, it would be on the network. I didn't know if that was like a common problem. Or...
That happens to me too. I live in Maryland.
Yeah, this is the first I've heard of it. It's like I wouldn't want to offer an off the cuff reasons to why, but I know more about how it's happening.
Can you make a note of that, Joe?
Definitely.
Sometimes disabling the wireless, since wireless is becoming so prevalent.
Yeah, I always turn my wireless off early in my
Okay.
room just because it will constantly just search for it.
Yep.
Because there is a network like that I can catch from my room, but it's not strong enough to be connected. It just connects to it.
Probably the one outside.
What?
Probably the one outside.
Oh yeah, but it says it has like 2 bars for like a track connect, and it'll take that over the wire and wire it off. Right.
We'll look into it. Other questions? What you did? Why? Stop.
Oh, I was there. I got plenty.
How many student staff members did you say you have?
42.
42.
And are those IT computer science majors, or is it a work study job that anybody could?
We have both work study and student hourly employees. They are not all computer science or IT majors, although some of them are.
So how do you go about training the students?
We, quite frankly, Sarah and I look for people that have great people skills and that are users of technology. That really is what we're looking for. We want people that have a way with people and can talk to folks about using technology and that enjoy using technology. We can teach you the other stuff.
We basically have one requirement: great attitude. You have a great attitude, these ladies and my managers and technicians can train almost anybody who's working in ITS. Could be sitting on the help desk answering calls. We can't fix a bad attitude. So.
And to answer your question, we spend 40 hours before school starts training the students, and then we have ongoing training throughout the year, and then we'll hopefully be doing more training.
Yeah, we are looking for other students. Like I said, we need marketing and communication students. We need students for our business services department.
Graphic designers.
Graphic designers. We're getting into a lot more video-based technologies. Looking for work study within the networking areas. Connections with computer science, so we can create opportunities for computer science students. So just a wide variety of different student needs. But
Yeah.
like I said, great attitude. We can train for doing anything else. So.
Yeah, we have English majors, meteorology majors, computer science majors.
Yeah.
Education majors.
I don't think, like Joanne said, she doesn't really consider the major much at all.
I'm just saying, as a student point of view, nothing aggravates me more than when I have like a technology problem and I call and the student has no idea what I'm talking to and he's super nice on the phone. Gotta put something in there and tell me how to do my internet.
Right.
So it'd be better just to have maybe a little bit more than 40 hours because you can sit there.
If you're not happy with the answers you're getting, you can say, you're doing a great job. Can I direct someone that has a little bit more technical skill? And there's always a full-time
There's always
technical
a full-time
person
technical
on
person on
staff.
staff.
You can always ask a
Always a
full-time
supervisor.
staff person. And don't be afraid to ask for a full-time staff person.
Network twins.
At times, no, actually, this one's about the computer clusters. There have been times when I go to log into computers and it takes literally 5 to 10 minutes. And once in a while, it turns out that it says there's not enough servers to handle the request. Is there anything that can be done about the speed of how the login works?
Sure. One of the things that we've been talking about, when you log into a cluster, you get what's called a roaming profile. Basically a collection of settings that goes along with you wherever you are. And that has to come over the network. Yeah, everything. What we're going to do over winter is decouple the application settings from having to be pulled over the network. And only the things that will come over at the time you log on will be desktop and whatever icons you have on it. The application settings themselves will stay on the server and only be accessed when you need them to be. That can be, right now, the application settings can be up to, I think, 50 megabytes. So if you have a lot of stuff in your settings, it's going 50 meg over the pipe. And that would get right down to what Lindsay would talk about is, you get a contention issue. There's only so much data you're going to be able to pull at a time.
So that would be improved then when you get back February.
That is our hope that will make it faster. The problem is it's one of those things that's very hard to model in the lab.
So we don't have the usage, there's not as many.
So that's what we're hoping for.
And oftentimes removing an issue in one area exposes an issue in another area. Okay, now we gotta fix that. No, we found another, now we gotta fix that. So it may not be, something, may not have the silver bullet approach, but we have to get it on a few lines or something.
Is that the same for when you log out? Because sometimes I feel like it takes like 10 minutes.
When you log out,
it's
pushing it back to the server.
When it's logging
No.
out, what if it doesn't,
And then if you just press and hold the power button 5 seconds,
In theory.
it's gone, no worry.
I don't know if this is anything that you can control or not, or that it would be Time Warner cable, but I noticed that the cable here on campus chops out and freezes a lot and seems to
We are
lag.
working with Time Warner, because that's another thing that I'm not
Guess
real-
what? It does it at home too.
Another thing that I'm not real happy with, and our contract's just about up with Time Warner, we're looking at other options. Right now, you get basic cable, I think is all you get. One of the things we're talking about when we scrub the tech fee is maybe you want premium channels or something else. So we're gonna work with Time Warner to see what the flexibilities are. Definitely what the service level agreements were. If you recall, about 3 weeks ago, a student contacted me on a Saturday and said, my Time Warner's been out for 24 hours now, what can I do? I couldn't even get through to Time Warner myself, so that's an issue if I can't even call them to let them know that the service is down. So they're going to be meeting with us, I think, week after, probably week after next, to talk about those service agreements and what are the flexibilities for the future. But more importantly, if our service drops, if they comply with the contract that they signed that says, okay, here, if between Monday and Friday, 8 to 5, within 4 hours, and after that, up to 8 hours. Service level agreements.
Yeah, if we had a lot of time dedicated to a Time Warner discussion, it would take up every minute of that time. It's a deep topic that we're actively working on resolving.
Are
The problem
there?
is we had a contract with
Adelphia.
Adelphia went bankrupt. Time Warner assumed control of what Adelphia had from Concord North. Comcast got the contract from Concord South, but they're not really complying with the terms of that contract. So we want to hold their feet to the fire and set up a contract until next year.
Well, that's what I was going to ask if there was any other cable providers, because I live in Lebanon and we have Comcast, and I haven't had an issue
The
at all.
sad answer is really, when the state regulated the industry, instead of allowing companies to compete with each other in the same service area, they said, all right, you get this service area, Time Warner. All right, Comcast, you get this area. So Time Warner has no competition. So it's not like we
There's
can
no
say,
incentive for them to do better.
so we can't just call someone else and say, hey,
It's
you're in
actually
there.
based on the community. Right now, the town is beginning negotiations for cable service for the Plymouth community. We're unsure if we're tied to what they're doing, if we're going to go on our own. We do know that our contract with Adelphia and Time Warner is up in June of next year. So we'll either tap into their contract or go on our own.
I don't think it's something that's
Yeah.
It's expensive.
and you have zero issues with that, that they would like you call them, and they're there within 2
Yes,
minutes.
that's what we want.
And they always answer your phone, you live chat with them,
Right.
and they're always there. And they're really just.
That's what we hope. We want immediate.
Right now, it's regulated by the government. We have to use Time Warner, so.
We have a contract with them, but that's why we want to meet with them to negotiate. If they're not going to uphold the terms of the contract, then free us from the contract and we'll negotiate with somebody else.
And there's options that we're exploring too outside of that, but these things take a lot of time because there's contracts, and there's legal obligations, and there's expensive alternatives. So these things require a lot of thought and planning. And just to take a second to preface kind of everything that we've talked about here. Since Steve's been on, we've been able to strategize